What is up, guys? Ryan and Tiffany.
Good morning. I had to look up my phone. I was like, is it morning or is it afternoon yet?
Yep. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully you guys are having a great day.
Yes.
Some crazy news happened in Hillsborough County yesterday, and the Florida Concealed Carry Facebook group is blowing up. Tons of people are freaking out about this, and frankly, it seems to be like a hot button. So break down, Tiff, just like a quick summary of what happened.
So, a welfare check. I don't know if you guys know what that is or not, but if you're concerned about someone, you haven't seen someone in a while.
A neighbor, old, whatever.
Yeah, or, the garbage is piling up outside and you want to do a welfare check, you can call the police and they'll come by, knock and go in and check on the person, see if they're okay and what's going on, right? So,
and I would bet most times that a welfare check is performed, there's a dead person dead inside.
No, not all the time. Yes, sometimes, but sometimes it's just the person is, injured or they just haven't come out. So, but people do welfare checks for different reasons. In fact, what was that guy's name that murdered his wife and his two children? Chris, whatever it is. So that's what happened. The friend didn't hear from her, so she called to do a welfare check. So they came in, and searched the property for her. So there is a 88-year-old man here in Hillsborough County, and the neighbor was concerned that hadn't seen him in a while, so she called the police to do a welfare check on him. So the police came, went in the home with the neighbor to check on this elderly man, and it didn't end up very well.
All right, so we're going to play the video. We'll get some real-time kind of feedback, so let's jump into it. So this is the sheriff's deputies inside of the garage.
Does he have
knocking on
dogs
the
or
door.
anything?
And when I first heard this story, I was like, did she clearly
Sheriff's office.
say that she was the police?
Yeah, you said, did she announce herself? And I said, yeah, she announced herself 20 different times.
Yeah.
Sheriff's office.
Very clearly, and a lot. So it was a lot of times. I'm shocked that it took so long for the elderly man to actually respond.
Yeah, I think at first maybe he might have been sleeping in his bedroom. I don't know what time this is at. I know it happened yesterday.
Sheriff's office.
And again, if I'm upstairs in the bedroom, I'm not going to hear if somebody came in the house.
Actually, yeah, you wouldn't really hear anything. If the dogs weren't barking, you probably wouldn't know. So, she's scoping out the downstairs. She's looking for him. She's announcing herself, every few seconds. She's letting him know, hey, sheriff's office.
Typical old person's house, though, with a plaid flower print couch.
So
sheriff's office.
Yeah, so she goes through the whole downstairs. Her and the neighbor are kind of talking back and forth, and then she.
No, I don't think the neighbor's in the house.
No, she was at the beginning.
Right.
Yes, you're right. So she makes her way
sheriff's
upstairs,
office,
and again she's announcing herself the whole time, letting him know.
And I would think at this point, this sheriff's deputy is probably like, this person is dead in a room. This person's dead, right?
Yeah, she's probably thinking that. You're right. Especially knowing that he's 88 years old.
Right.
Right? I mean, you're old.
So, and at some point, we can't hear the audio. So at some point, the guy finally
not
says.
Yet. Yeah, not yet. Right here, you see the rifle case on the bed. Watch. See? Did you see it?
Okay, I saw it, yeah.
Sheriff's
and now
office.
Is when...
Nope, not this one yet. It's the next one. So now his bedroom's down there on the end. Right there. Okay. So she opens the door, and I believe he's armed at this point.
She's not backing away, so the person's obviously...
Oh, wait. Sorry, maybe it was this
Gotta be this one.
This bedroom.
Sheriff's office.
But she's still announcing herself.
Sheriff's officer.
Yeah, and I mean, she says it a lot.
It's Deputy Castillo.
Dude.
Yeah.
So it's got to be at about now. Tell me in the comments, did the guy talk already? So now she's focused on that door. She knows that he's in there, right?
Yeah, and she's requesting backup, right? So she's understanding, okay, he's here. I'm announcing myself.
Sir, are you okay?
And I'm requesting backup. The
Sir,
whole time,
Sheriff's
she's just trying to
office.
explain to him.
It's the sheriff. Put your
I'm just
gun
here
down.
to check on you, right?
It's
Nobody's
the
done
sheriff's
anything
office, sir.
I'm just here to check on you.
Yeah.
Step up my 94. Okay, I'm staying right here. Put the gun down.
So we got to stop talking so they can hear.
10-4, subject's armed.
Yeah, so pretty scary.
Hey, put your gun down. Sir, put your gun down.
Yeah, so she backs herself into that back
Sheriff's office.
guest bedroom.
I'm announcing
Yeah.
myself. He's armed with a gun.
You can hear the guy. She's like, "Sir, I am just here to check on you," and he's like, "We'll see about that."
Yeah, I know.
Sir,
Come
put
out
the
here
gun
in the
down,
open and
please.
sit down.
Hey, watch it when you come up the stairs.
At this
Sheriff's
point,
office, sir, put the gun down, please.
Yeah,
she's
so
got to
she
be
know-
scared.
Sir, I just wanna make sure you're
But I'm
okay.
sure
Please
he's
put the gun
scared
down.
too, to a degree.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, her gun's drawn. She knows he's got a
Sir,
gun.
please
and
put
he's
the gun down.
refusing to comply to put the
Sir.
gun down.
Yeah, and I would have thought.
Sir, please
I
put the
can
gun down.
understand, you know, him being scared. I feel like it would have been definitely different if there was a man
Sir.
officer, but it's a woman officer.
Can you
I
please
feel
put the gun
like
down?
That should have maybe made.
You're
a
not in
little bit of
trouble.
a
We just
difference.
want to make sure you're
I don't
okay.
think that matters.
No.
No.
Sir,
So Jay Chambers said they had to do it for his neighbor, and they found her trapped in her bed.
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
sir, put the gun down,
But
please.
alive. Good.
Yeah, that's why you need
Tell you what you do.
No, please put the gun down, sir.
Come out in the open and sit
Not
down.
good enough. It's
Sir,
a
put the gun
sweet
down, please.
story.
Sit down, or I'll
yeah, but
blow
it's-
you right out.
again-
Sir, I
she's
don't want to do this.
announcing-
Please put the gun down.
At this point, even though she's in his house, I don't know.
Sir, put the gun down, please.
It's hard to
Hey,
say.
step it up. He's on the stairs with the gun.
He may be deaf. That's
When you come up the
actually-
stairs, he's going to be to
Yeah,
your
could
right.
be.
I'm going to be in
Yeah,
the
maybe
bedroom
that's why
on
his
the
hearing
left
aids in.
side.
Who knows?
Yeah, but he's after she says something, he's responding.
True.
Right?
He
Put
is
the
saying-
gun down,
she
please.
said, "We're here." You know.
Listen,
nobody's
You're
Sir,
not in
well,
trouble, and he's like, "Oh,
I just want to
we'll
make
see
sure you're
about
okay.
that."
That is
True.
all. Your neighbor was
Yeah,
concerned
so
about
he's not
you.
deaf. We've.
Well, we're gonna find out.
That's it, sir. Nobody's in trouble,
Hear
okay?
the guy like.
Listen, nobody's
we'll
in
post
trouble.
a link to the video. You can rewatch
Sir,
it.
put the gun down. Sir. Sir, put the gun down.
Who the hell you at?
Sir. Shots fired. Shots fired. Subject's down.
Okay.
So the cop did back off, though. She
Was trapped.
was trapped
in a room.
So she tried to get back, and I understand her not wanting to go down the stairs because there's railing, and he was armed, so he could easily, shoot at her. So in her, in her defense, she was backing up, and so she was retreating, right?
Yeah,
And
so-
you have to keep that in mind. If I was coming after you, I would be coming after you, but instead I'm retreating. And also keep in mind, now we know that he's not deaf because he is communicating exactly, Josanne. So you also hear the officer requesting backup, right?
Multiple times.
Multiple
And
times.
saying, like, you got to hurry up. Like, I need somebody else here.
Yeah, so she's retreating. She's not, holding him at gunpoint. She's retreating. She's requesting backup. She's trying to reason with him, "Sir, I'm just doing a check on you. Your neighbor was concerned." So in my opinion, I feel like she was doing everything that she possibly could to make sure that he understand who she was, why she was there, and she didn't do it in a threatening manner at all because she was continually retreating, backing up, staying in that corner, telling him to stop,
Yeah.
right? She didn't come out around the corner.
So let's tell us what you guys think. Was this a justified shooting? Was this a terrible thing? The police should have never gone in the house. Like, tell me your opinion in the comments. What are people saying inside of the concealed carry group?
So 1 second. So I see somebody that says dementia and Alzheimer's. And yes, I was definitely thinking that too. I was thinking he may not, understand what is happening.
Sure.
Right? Why is somebody in my house?
Yeah.
So that's a very logical thing, but you can't put the blame on her for that. Right? Because technically, they're allowed to do these welfare checks. She didn't, in my opinion, she didn't do anything wrong. She
I think
announced herself properly.
Yeah.
So if it's a case of dementia or Alzheimer's, again, I feel like that wouldn't put her at fault for that. He told her to drop her gun and sit down. Yes, I understand, but
A cop is never going to do that.
a cop is not going to drop their gun and sit down. I mean, that's because,
that's just not the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Now, the caveat here, like, do you remember right when we opened our gun store, there was an incident that happened in St. Petersburg where a husband and a wife were in their house. All of a sudden, they got, the police knock, right? Like, it's a really loud, aggressive knock. They got that knock on their front door, and then somebody started, like, kicking the door in. So the husband and the wife runs and hides in a closet. Husband grabs his gun because, like, this is a home invasion, right? Like, bad stuff is happening. The front door gets kicked in. Bad guys are in the house. But then the bad guys start yelling, police, police, search warrant.
Yeah.
So the homeowner is like, oh my God, it's the cops.
Right.
So he sets his gun down, walks downstairs, sees the bad guys, and they shoot and kill him.
Yeah.
So then the wife is there and the bad guys ransack the house and whatever. So just because after that, cops would come to our gun store, you remember this? They'd be in their full uniform. They would open the door and just stick their head in and they'd say, hey, I'm with Tampa police. Is it okay if I come in? And I was like, of course you can come in. Like, why are you even asking me this? And he said, businesses and people are very afraid of the cops walking in now because of this story. And we just want to make sure you're okay. And I was like, yes, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So just because you're saying you're the cop doesn't mean you're the cop. Bad guys are smart.
And I agree, 100%. And that could be the situation. In this scenario, though, because she's retreating, because she's calling for backup and she's not the aggressor, right?
Yeah.
She's not showing herself as the aggressor. So I feel like that scenario then would be different. Now, somebody else posted and said, well, old people, they can't see. They got cataracts. You got a flashlight in their eyes. Yes, except she was around the corner in another room, right? So the flashlight wasn't in his eyes.
Sure.
So that, again, you could kind of say it, but I'll tell you what this scenario reminds me of, exactly what happened on Bloomingdale not too long back when the officer, the guy had rammed his truck and got away from the officer had pulled him over. He rammed through his truck, got away. Then they caught him, right? And the guy pulled his gun and the cop just kept begging with him as he was
The gun was sitting there.
Or the
and
gun
the
was
cop
sitting there.
kept saying to him, don't make me do this, man. Like, it is not that bad. We're going to figure this out. Like, you don't want to die. Don't make me do this.
Don't make me do this. In other words, don't go for the gun. And this officer probably pleaded for 3 to 4 minutes,
it was
right?
a long time,
with the guy, just please, man, please don't make me do this. And that's kind of how I feel like she was in that room, backed into a corner, and she was just like...
Yeah, let me comment on this. So Slick49 is saying, if you're performing a welfare check, you don't enter the home with the gun in your hand. The gun wasn't in her hand. You can clearly see in the footage that it was just a flashlight. She's walking around the house, and the gun was not pulled until she identified that the man had a gun.
Had a gun, yeah. She didn't pull it until she was upstairs. And then that's when she also called for backup, right? And she said, he's armed. And, yeah. So, sad situation.
So we also have to understand, we have to be responsible citizens here. I do not believe at all that Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies did anything wrong in this situation.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I can guarantee it's their policy to just have one person, whoever's available, because there's bigger priority stuff happening.
And actually, welfare checks happen a lot.
Okay, so there's bigger priority stuff happening. We don't need 10 cops or 2 cops to show up to that. One's probably good enough because most of the time, I bet, you knock on the door and say, hey, police. Somebody answers the door and they're like, hey, your neighbor said, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine. I've just been sick, quarantining or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, great. Have a nice day. And then you move on. I guarantee you that's how probably 80%.
Yeah.
And then the other 80% or 19% is a dead person. And then you got the less than 1% that something like this happens.
Yeah, I did a welfare check on you before and I don't think you know about it yet.
Oh, really? What the hell does that mean?
Because I didn't tell you because you always say I overreact on you.
So what are you talking about?
So, because my sister's the one that told me. I didn't even know that this was a real thing. But so when we owned the gun store, and remember when you were staying like till 3, 4 in the morning doing the gunsmithing stuff? Well, you weren't answering your phone. And I was calling. And it was like the first time that you stayed late. So normally you would come home like around midnight. And this is like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm calling, texting. You're not doing anything. I called Lori. I'm like, can you call his phone? And I was just super worried. And I said, can you watch the kids? I'm going to drive down to the store. And she's like, well, you can call and the police will do a welfare check. I think I even called the hospitals too, because I thought, it was also around that time when we went to get cameras because somebody was like scoping the place out or whatever. I don't know. It was a crazy time. So I called to see if somebody could come by and check on you and make sure.
I wonder, you remember Jesse Madsen, who's a Tampa police officer that died?
Yeah.
The first time I met him, like I was doing gunsmithing work and our back door was opening for like to vent the fumes or whatever. And he just walked in and I was like, oh, what the hell, bro? And he's like, oh yeah, I was just driving by making sure you're okay or whatever. And then we ended up talking for hours. Yeah. So I wonder if that's how I met Jesse. That's funny.
That might be, but I never told you I did that because you're always like, you overreact, when you don't answer your phone, but yeah.
Yeah, funny.
So, crazy, so sorry for the family of that gentleman. I think it's just tragic, but I do feel like the reason that they released that video so soon, right? It happened yesterday, was because already people were like, oh my gosh, this cop shot this guy in his own home, doing a welfare check. What are you doing? And I think they realized, like, after reviewing the footage,
like, what else do you want the police to do?
She did not have ill intent. She was not going there to murder someone. She was not happy about having to pull the trigger. Yeah. This young woman is going to go through a hard time.
I also don't believe that the homeowner was trying to shoot her. I think, right at the end, I think the homeowner realized, because he was like, well, let me look at you. And he said, where are you? And that's when the shooting happened.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, you're still me as the homeowner, right? I'm thinking, you're still a bad guy. You're hiding.
Right, exactly. I want to see you.
Let me see you in your uniform.
Right.
And then I'll put my gun down.
Yeah.
And I get it, dude. Like, when I'm thinking about this, the rental property that we bought a couple years ago was a old school, like, hardcore Green Beret.
Yeah.
And I would picture him like this, like,
oh yeah,
mother effer, like, I've killed 34 people. I ain't setting my gun down until I know who you are.
Any guy that has a picture of a nude woman on top of his bed.
Like a massive picture, as big as his flag. Yeah. So anyway, I picture him as that kind of person. Like, listen, I've survived lots of combat. I ain't setting it down until I know who you are kind of thing.
Right.
So I get it from both points of view. But I think the cop did the right thing.
Yeah.
I think the cop needs to secure the weapon. Stop he is a threat, right? He is a threat. You got to stop him. And you've got to comply with the cop is in your house, man.
Ooh, Grumpy David, I like you. Tiffany equals awesome wife. I'll take it.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's all we had to share with you. Thanks for watching. Share this with your friends and family. Hopefully we can prevent something like this from happening.
And you're taking me to lunch.
I am taking her to lunch. And if you haven't already yet picked up your copy of my brand new book that just came out, Florida, Shoot or Don't Shoot, packed full of a ton of different scenarios.
Yeah, wait. Well, it didn't just come out, so it's in print. It's probably
we're pre-releasing it.
Yeah, it's probably going to ship in a few days, but you're going to have to wait a couple days to get it.
Yeah.
We're pre-selling it.
But check it out. Go to the link. Watch the video. Lots of cool bonuses.
Yeah, I was going to say, the first 100 copies sold, which I think we're at like 50 now. Ryan and I will both sign a copy for you, and you're also going to get access to our workbook, which you can fill out online. So it asks you those important questions with these shoot or don't shoot scenarios. There's 21 of them, and there's a little video of Ryan and I inside each scenario that you can watch, and we give our thoughts on it. So it's a really cool little thing, especially for $25. It is a sweet deal.
Sweet deal.
Free shipping.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be safe.
Take me out.